Hello all, getting ready to play Quebec 1759, the 50th anniversary edition. I'll put a link to the unboxing in the description down below, but this was compliments of a Columbia game, so I want to thank him for that. And I'm setting it up here with the British facing this way and the French facing that way. I'll try to play this opposed, but I need to find an opponent to do that. But this is a traditional block game where you're going to have different steps. So on this side, you get to roll 4 combat dice. And if it loses a step, which are done when you get 6s as a hit, then it will reduce a step. And then you roll 3 dice and so on. And there's also a battle board in this, where you're going to set out your units in left, center, and right, and in reserves if you have them. And that sets up your battle board, and that in the reserve makes a difference, like on retreats and routes and attacking that way. Plus, there is a French unit, which is an Ottawa Indian unit that cannot participate in pitched battles and always sets up in the reserve, but gets like double dice on routes or retreats or something like that. There's also the British Navy is very important, so they start off in the Bassan, and there's 4 in there, so that means that 4 units can leave from here and be transported to one of these areas that border along this river area, and if these units move into here, then you only move 3, and then this also limits the number of units that the French can move back and forth. They can move 4 back and forth over the Saint Laurent, but for every British naval that's in there reduces that. And if all 4 are in there, then they can't move at all. The goal of the game is for the Plains of Abraham, for the British to get, I think, 20 CV in the Plains of Abraham, and they have, I think, 16 turns to do that. If they don't do that, then they lose the game, and the French win the game. I believe that's the rules, but we'll get into it. I don't know if I'm going to do a play-by-play or if I just do an after-action like I'm apt to do and just talk about what happened and talk a little bit about gameplay. But first, these are already stickered, but let's go back in time and look at some stickering. Hello all, back to stickering, this time Quebec 1759. This is the 50th anniversary edition. Take a look in the description. You'll see a link to the unboxing, but there is a block. Here is some stickers, or our stickers. Comes right off like that. And then we place it right in the middle of the block. The middle as best we can. Put it in there. And that is, oh, there we go. I can get it, straighten it out a little bit. And you only have to sticker one side because this is a true block game from Columbia Games, where it is Fog of War. Hello, I'm back and I'm done. I only got to turn 9, actually close to 10, but really finished up at 9 because the British failed. I mentioned earlier that you had to have 20 CV or combat value of points, and you don't have to have that all in the Plains of Abraham, but you need to have that on the board, and the British fell below that. They did an attack to the Plains of Abraham and did quite a bit of damage. Here's all the stuff that went away, including Montcalm. I rolled doubles, and when you roll doubles on a leader, they get to roll 2 dice. They get to double the number of combat dice they roll, but if they roll doubles, they die, and doubles, he died. But they did quite a bit of damage here. I mean, this one has 2 left. This one has 3. That was pretty good shape. 2, 1, 2, 2, and 1. So And then this force really got decimated here. You still had Wolf, and you had a 1 and a 1. It was really pretty bloody on the plains of Abraham. There's some detachments over here. There's some units still over here, but that's not enough to have 20. These guys were going to be able to pop over and help out, but a little bit too late. The strategy I did for the French was mainly rated with this Ottawa tribe. They can move just almost anywhere and retreat, and they get to roll double, so they can wreak a lot of damage. And so I did quite a bit of that early on, and then moved some units into support. The British basically landed in Montmorency, and then just moved along the coast to get along the coast in Canada. And eventually, mounted a pretty good size attack on the plains of Abraham, but it was just a little bit not enough. A lot of good rolling on the French and not so good on the British. Probably should have retreated earlier to live to fight another day and brought some of these forces over. Moved these British naval over here so they can start crossing stuff. The British could start crossing stuff, and it prohibited the French. So all these units were kind of trapped over here. They could not cross over. So that kind of neutralized them. But again, the big bloody battle with a lot of 6s for the French and not so many for the British is what ended up the day. So kind of reverse of history than what happened in real life, but that's why we play the games, right? Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Take care. Thanks for watching.